People think they understand people who don't post on social media, but psychology suggests something stranger. We assume they're shy, antisocial, or secretly miserable. In a world that constantly says, show yourself, choosing not to can look suspicious, or weak, or like they're being left behind. But what if that silence isn't emptiness at all? What if it's a very specific, very human response to a world that's always watching? And what if the part of you that hesitates to post is actually trying to protect something you don't yet have words for? This is about the psychology of people who don't post. And it might also be about a hidden part of you. Think of social media as a giant stage. Most people are performing, even when they don't mean to, smiling at angles that look natural but are carefully chosen, sharing pain that's been edited into something almost beautiful, turning life into episodes, moments into proof. But then, there are the quiet ones, the accounts with no profile picture, the people who watch every story but never react, the friend with 2 old posts and nothing since. On the surface, it looks like absence. Underneath, something much more complex is happening. For some, not posting is a form of control in a space that constantly asks for a piece of them. It's a boundary. It's saying, you don't get to turn my life into content, not this time. Psychologists have a simple idea called self-presentation. It's the way we carefully manage how others see us. Offline, it's already exhausting. Online, it never stops. Every post becomes a tiny performance. Is this interesting enough? Pretty enough? Deep enough? Will it be ignored? Judged? Screenshotted? Over time, this creates a quiet pressure in the mind. Some researchers call it self-presentational stress, that subtle tension of knowing that whatever you share can be measured, replayed, and evaluated by everyone you know and a lot of people you don't. Some people adapt. They post anyway. Others feel that pressure so strongly that their mind takes the safest route, silence. But here's the part most people miss. Not posting doesn't always mean indifference. Often it means high sensitivity. They're not numb. They're hyper-aware. There's another piece to this. When we post and get likes, comments, reactions, our brain releases dopamine, the chemical that says, that felt good, do it again. Over time, we start to think in terms of shareable moments instead of simply moments. Now imagine someone who feels that pull, understands it, and quietly refuses to lean into it. That isn't laziness. That's restraint. Psychologists sometimes talk about an internal locus of control, the sense that your worth and your direction come from inside you, not from other people's reactions. Many people who step back from posting are moving in that direction, whether they know the term or not. They're experimenting with a life where their value doesn't rise or fall with notifications. A life where something can be beautiful and nobody else has to see it for it to count. In studies where people cut back on social media or stop posting for a while, many report feeling less anxious, less reactive, and strangely more solid, as if once the mirror of other people's opinions is taken away, they can finally see themselves more clearly again.
But it's not always peaceful. Silence has more than one origin. Some people stop posting because they burned out from performing. Maybe they used to share everything, relationships, trips, achievements, until one day it all felt fake. They noticed that every joy came with an invisible pressure. If I shared something good last week, I need something even better this week. Life slowly turned into a competition with their own highlight reel. So they disappeared, not with a dramatic announcement, but with a quiet drifting away. The app stayed on their phone. They still checked in. They just stopped putting themselves on stage. Others don't post for a different reason. Fear fear of being judged, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being ignored. For them, social media doesn't feel like a community. It feels like a spotlight. And every time they think of saying something, their mind races through every possible reaction. Will they think I'm stupid? Will they make fun of this? Will they think I'm trying too hard? So they say nothing. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they have too much to lose emotionally if it lands wrong. Ironically, some of the quietest people online have the loudest inner worlds. Their thoughts don't fit into captions. Their feelings don't feel safe in comment sections. Think about this for a moment. Not everything we experience is meant to be witnessed. Some of the most important shifts in your life, grief, healing, growing up, letting go, don't translate well into photos and stories. They happen in late-night thoughts, in long showers, in conversations that never get recorded. There's a subtle psychological experience called psychological ownership, that sense that this is mine in a deep, private way, a memory, a moment, a connection. When you share certain things online, that feeling often changes. Suddenly, it's not just your memory, it's content. People can rate it, react to it, misunderstand it, turn it into something else. Some people are very sensitive to that shift, so they guard their moments. They don't post the trip, the date, the view, the silent victory, not because they're ashamed, but because they want it to remain untouched, theirs alone. In a world that confuses visibility with value, that kind of privacy can look like failure, but sometimes it's a quiet form of self-respect. There's also something deeply philosophical in not posting. Social media asks a constant question. Are you still there? Prove it. Photos, status updates, stories, they all whisper, show that you exist. People who don't post or rarely do often answer with a different kind of statement. I exist even when no one is looking. It's almost stoic. They're not trying to be mysterious. They're trying to feel real. When you stop performing your life for an audience, you start actually living inside it. You notice the way light spills into your room in the morning without thinking this would make a good story. You have a deep conversation without an urge to screenshot it. You taste your food instead of photographing proof you ate it. Presence replaces performance. And presence in a world built on attention is quietly radical. But silence has a cost too. There are days when the person who never posts wonders, do I still matter if nobody sees me? They watch others share milestones, celebrations, friendships, and they feel themselves drifting like a ghost through everyone else's story. They might crave being seen deeply, but not in the way the internet offers it, quick, shallow, and noisy. They want something slower, something that doesn't need an audience. And this is the paradox. You can feel invisible both from posting constantly and from never posting at all. The real question isn't, do I show myself or not? It's where do I want my existence to be confirmed, on a screen or in the quiet reality of my life?
When psychologists talk about authenticity, they often mean the alignment between your inner world and the version of you that the world sees. For some, posting helps with that. They feel genuinely expressed. For others, posting pulls them away from it. They start curating, editing, smoothing edges. They become a brand, not a person. So, they choose another path, fewer posts, or none at all. not because they dislike connection, but because they're trying to protect that fragile line between who they are and who they feel pressured to appear as. They save their real stories for the friend sitting across from them, not the feed scrolling past them. Their intimacy moves offline into unrecorded laughter, tears no one screenshots, hugs no one comments on. They're not against the internet. They're just choosing where their soul gets to show up. If you're someone who doesn't post much, or who's been thinking about stepping back, maybe this is what your silence is saying. I want my life to be experienced, not performed. I want my worth to be felt inside, not counted in numbers. I want some parts of me to belong only to me or to the few I trust. That isn't weakness, and it isn't superiority. It's simply human. So ask yourself gently, what is your relationship with being seen? Where does your sense of worth actually come from? Inside your own quiet awareness, or in the eyes watching you? If this resonated with you, if you recognized yourself in the quiet spaces we talked about, you might find comfort in more videos like this, where we unpack the psychology of the things most people never say out loud. Have you ever chosen not to post something and felt strangely proud of that choice? If you want to keep exploring why your mind works the way it does, consider subscribing and staying with this conversation. Whether you speak loudly online or remain mostly unseen, your inner world is still worth understanding.